Yay Media Group.
These kids got no talent. They're just humping gay guys on the stage. I liked her gay guy she was humping. He had fierce hair.
Here's the thing. She may not be the best singer, which I don't think, to be quite honest.
We've already got Taylor Swift. Alrighty. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome back to Highkey.
Hi, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I am moving hella slow today.
Yeah, girl. Why? What's the tea?
I just, my friend had a pool party. It was like it was supposed to be very chill and just like, but I should have known she's like a turnip girl. And literally it was just shots after shots after shots after shots.
Oh, I can't even do shots anymore like that, girl. On a Sunday, on the Lord's Day?
With lukewarm tequila.
Yeah, okay, I lied. That's exactly how I still do shots, bitch.
I'm just like feeling it all in my body right now. But besides that, it was actually a pretty cool and chill weekend. I just watched a lot of Coachella, which I did last weekend too, but I had to weekend two is just different. You know what I mean? But before we get to Coachella, you kind of were outside. You went to go see a show, a theater show, a Broadway show.
I did. I got asked to guest judge at Cats the Jellicle Ball, which is on Broadway and is possibly the best thing that ever happened to the show Cats at all. It interprets the show by, is it Andrew Lloyd Webber? I feel so bad.
Cats?
I'm bad with my white playwright peoples.
I actually don't know who did Cats. I've never seen Cats.
Girl, I mean, it's not to say it's not worth it, because like my mom got us the VHS of the stage production of Cats growing up, so I saw it and fell in love with its terrible show as a child. But it's like it's an objectively bad show. It's like based off of T.S. Eliot's poems about his cats. It is some dead poet,
which is like crazy.
Yeah, and so the whole show, like the whole original show, is just like a bunch of cats coming out and being like, "I'm Mr. Fluffernutter. I'm the one who licks his butter."
So how does this, I guess, new version of it? Because I've been seeing it online, and it's like a ball, like it's like ballroom culture, and so
I mean that's how it makes sense, because like the cats. That's what's funny about it, is it really doesn't change the original text. Like the whole show is just one song of a cat introducing itself into another, and then them all coming together all the time to be like, "And we're Jellicle cats. We don't give a fuck if you don't know what that means." Meow. Yeah. Like it is a bad show, but the Jellicle Ball, like Cats the Jellicle Ball, actually makes the show make sense, because it's like a bunch of cats like competing in ballroom. So it's all these cats coming together, and like, of course they're introducing themselves. Of course they're like talking about what it is they do. It's a ball. So it's like they're coming on and giving categories. Yeah. I got to see, I had to hold in my fangirl so hard, but it was insane watching like Laomi Maldonado, i.e. Laomi, i.e. the icon, the legend, all of the above, who I grew up watching being like some of my first strong queer representation on TV, and watching Lil Mama not understand like transness at all.
Come on. Yes, it was America's Best Dance Crew. Talk about it.
Yeah, it was just wild watching that same woman like do a show that, for all intents and purposes, like should be a joke, and then eat so hard, and then like clearly it was this beautiful experience to watch like a bunch of Broadway actors lift up all of these like ballroom icons, and all of these ballroom icons like give some spice to these theater kids, you know. It was just a beautiful
Broadway.
show.
It's not off Broadway. Like
she's on Broadway. I saw it off Broadway for my birthday a couple of years ago, And
so did they know
already
you
loved
loved it? Like, did they, because I mean, I know you talked about it here on the show. Like, so I'm like, did they hear it? Like, you know, it's just so great. I love that. That's everything.
Yeah, me too. It was insane. But what's funny is in between the rest of my time that was not spent catsing, we were also watching Coachella sets. It's just what the people were doing. What did you feel about Coachella now that you got to see like week 2? You got to see the unts of it all.
Now that it's all over, I have to say this was a pretty great year. I believe, like, I feel like it was the artist that I really got to watch. Like, I stayed up late to watch Ethel Cain. I stayed up late to watch Blood Orange. That was just like everything I needed and more, because I'm just obsessed with him. And I know there was a lot of noise around Justin Bieber and, you know, the simplistic kind of like pared down performance. And I do think there was a lot of valid critique around, well, you know, you have the night before, you have a Sabrina Carpenter who is like putting on like the life of a showgirl. And then you have him who's just like sitting on YouTube, just sort of doing it. But if I'm being quite honest, like, I've completely fell for it. I loved it. His voice sounded amazing. The set production was actually pretty good. Like, even though it was like scaled down, it was gorgeous. Like, that's the thing, that you can do simplicity and make it very high level and premium. And I think he did a great job with it. And like weekend 2, I think he realized like this was really for the fans, and you could just see how easy this was. And like, him and the juxtaposition of him going through his old catalog and seeing his younger self on the screen, like it was really, really beautiful to watch. And of course, like it's one of those things where I was just like, you know, I'm actually so happy I stayed up till 1 o'clock to watch this.
Okay, girl, I don't know if I was doing all that.
Oh, I most definitely was. And then also shout out to Karol G, you know, made history as like the first like Latina to ever headline Coachella, which is absolutely insane to me.
Karol G.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't understand a fuck thing she's saying, but that bitch looked great. She looked amazing, and she put on a worthy show that was like literally at the same high level as like Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. It was just like, girl, how did this not happen? How did this not happen sooner? Yeah, I mean, it was great.
They're getting smarter. They're figuring out like how to reel in all sorts of people to make Coachella the kind of experience it really should. And what's funny is like you like we were talking a little bit about it, and one of my favorite sets that I saw from Coachella was this band, this artist that you've had no idea. It was the 9 Inch Noise. And you've never heard? I was like, girl, wait, just to be clear, have you heard of like 9 Inch Nails?
Well, yes.
And do you know Boys Noise?
No, I've never heard of them.
Okay, so I was watching this set being like, sometimes it is so lonely being an alt fag, because like here I am getting my fucking life at 9 Inch Noise and knowing absolutely like nobody. I can go to the gay club and be like, yes, didn't Trent Reznor eat that? What about all those dancers? Because like, every other gay was like,
talk to about this.
They're like, this shit seems a little satanic. Meanwhile, Lady Gaga's entire satanic performance last year. But it's funny because what I love about Coachella is that it does force all these different types of people to sort of be like, well, I guess I'll give it a shot and see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I randomly turned it on one of because I normally, the stream that I watch is always like the one with like the 4 stages, and it's like you can just like go and hover over and you can like listen. And I think it was just randomly on. I was like, wait, I saw online someone was talking about 9 Inch Noise, and I was like, is this a new band? Like, I don't know any of these people. This is a part of like the white folks where I'm like, there's a disconnect. I don't know. So, but it was pretty like everything. And like speaking of other white people I watched Casey Musgraves did a surprise set, which was fucking incredible. She's like fully in her like country era, and she just like
Isn't she a country girly? Like, isn't that her thing? She was like,
she is.
Yes, I'm a country girly, but I actually like you faggots.
Well,
shoot your arrow
like
or whatever.
Pop girl. Like, she's a country pop girl at its fullest, but like, I think what I'm taking away from this new era that she's in, she has a new album about to come out, middle of nowhere, and it feels like she's like completely returning back to her roots. Like, her set gave country county fair in like the best way. She rode in on the stage to like on a horse. It was pretty everything. I was like, bitch, you ate. Like, that's a little country queen, and I'm obsessed with her.
Can we talk real quick about something just to get the canceling out of it?
Oh, please go.
I watched Addison Rae's and this is like my second or third time giving that bitch a chance and being like, you know what?
Hated her?
I just don't. Sometimes I think faggots just have the worst taste. They're like, wow, pretty skinny white girl who can almost sing. Yes, look at her say a cunt thing while she has sex on the stage. Like, I felt like someone in my parents' generation watching, being like, these kids got no talent. They're just humping gay guys on the stage. Old. I liked her gay guy she was humping. He had fierce hair.
Here's the thing. She may not be the best singer, which I don't think, to be quite honest.
We've already got Taylor Swift.
Yes. I also don't think pop singers have to be the best singers. The reason why I like Addison Rae so much is because watching her both weekends and seeing the way that she's like, one, just embraced by like the industry. I mean, she brought out Olivia Rodrigo and it was like a whole thing. But I also just like someone who seems hungry for it. Like, no matter what, she has been improving. Like, her dancing has gotten better. Her singing has actually gotten better. And I just like someone who is hungry to be on a stage and like perform. Like, I like seeing a theater girl just fucking like be in her own bag and just push it, because we don't really have that.
I like seeing somebody who's hungry for it, but I also like somebody who has some shit to offer. You know who beat these I'm not into that bitch allegations for me? Yeah. Sabrina Carpenter. When I heard that name first coming up, I was like, I am not listening to somebody who sounds like they were like shat out of Disney's Aryan asshole that fiercely. That's exactly what went through my head is Sabrina Carpenter. I had already heard a couple of her songs and been like, okay, so she's a pop girl who everyone's gonna die over or whatever. Investing in her art and being like, whoa, she's got a perspective. Whoa, she's got like this personality. She's got a whole thing. She's got package. Like, yeah, she's a whole package. And I've been, slowly breaking down my aversion to pop white women in that same way. And Addison Rae just could not do it, especially the second she opened her mouth to speak and was like, yes, I am exactly that annoying theater girl who would be named Addison Rae. I am here because I cared. Oh, I am such a hater. I'm such a hater, and she deserves all the success.
You're such a hater.
Two things can be true, girl.
Here's the thing. I will say, no matter what, if FKA Twigs doesn't come back next year, it's because they didn't give her a headlining spot on the main stage, and that's going to piss me off because she deserves. She deserves. But I literally found out how much money she got paid just to like headline the Mojave stage, and girl, she's making money. But I just think she deserves that headlining moment, and yeah. That's Coachella. I mean, that's all I'm just glad about that.
I'm glad she showed up. I'm glad she was there. I'm glad she killed it. Another set that I heard people just talking about being like, whoosh. And
Pink Pantheress. Oh my God, Pink Pantheress was so
Pink
good.
Pantheress. Yeah, I'm in. I'm about her.
Oh, good. At least you like her.
Listen, girls, she doesn't have to beat my white girl allegations. She's not a white girl. Her name is Pink Pantheress, not Becky Lou Jones, okay? Now that I stirred the pot a little, let's take a little break to breathe, because I want to talk about Drag Race when we get back.
Highkey.
Okay. I know I said we were going to talk about Drag Race. Welcome back, by the way. But that actually... That brings me into something, because I want to talk a little bit about, are we allowed to talk about the drama? Can we talk about the drama a little bit?
Oh, you want to talk about the drama first? Oh, wait, I wasn't sure. Okay, we can talk about the drama.
The reason why is we were talking about fucking strangers, and girl, that is Okay, I guess let's do this the right way.
If you haven't seen the drama, please fast forward. Maybe this is a spoiler alert, because we are doing a spoiler for filled conversation. I'm not.
I'm not pulling punches. This was so hot, Ryan. You were the one who was pressing me to see this. So if y'all haven't seen it, go see it. Now let's talk, because we were talking about fucking strangers, and that is exactly what the drama kind of asks in the middle, or in the beginning of itself, is by being but what if you don't really know your partner as well as you thought you did?
Well, yes, that is.
And can we talk about it? Because you were trying to hold your emotions about it. You were I was feeling some type of way about Zendaya's character, especially after the twist or whatever. I'm curious to see how you were feeling, because I feel like it's going to align with what I was feeling when during this dinner that's only 30 minutes into the movie. Robert Pattinson's character, the Haim girl, and the hot guy are all just sitting around being here's the worst thing I did. And she reveals that she thought about orchestrated.
Spoiler alert again. If you missed it, please, we're talking about this. Okay, keep going. Go.
Yeah, she thought about orchestrated and ultimately did not end up doing, but planning a mass shooting at her high school when she was in a really bad space. I'm so curious what your feelings were about this twist, if we'll call it that, because it was the plot of the movie.
It was. One, I just want to get off my chest and say that I actually loved this film. The drama is so good. I love this film, like I mentioned last week, where it allows you and it makes you have to think about the pivotal question that it's asking, and then also what does it mean to give grace, and who actually gets that grace, especially in your friends, and especially when there's a racial component of Rachel, her friend, this white woman, and everyone is going around the table, and it's sort of at this table, this black woman is getting the least amount of grace after everyone has said these shitty things that they have done.
So you do think it was intentional that there was this specific setup of there's a white man and a white woman and a black man and a black woman, and all of them have, ungraciousnesses in their past, things that they're upset about. You think it was intentional that it was those characters, and that her character is the one that does ultimately get shit on the most for not even following through on her evil thoughts?
The crazy thing is, I actually don't even think it was, if you're asking if it was intentional from the writer perspective, I actually don't, because I don't think Zendaya's character is meant to be a black woman. And I think Zendaya's character is supposed to be a white woman. And I think when you are writing a script and you just so happen to put a Zendaya in there who is a black woman, you forget about all the sort of nuances that is going to inform the audience that is while watching this film, because that's not just a simple character. This is a black woman that is in this interracial relationship, and the only friend that she has and the only people that she has are really white people around her. And it's also putting this black girl into this incel culture, which, here's the thing, being from the South, I could probably for sure admit that there was an all black girl at my high school that I knew that was aligned with Zendaya's younger character. That I was just oh, this is really interesting. But then when I continue to start thinking about it, and shout out to my good friend, Tre'vell Anderson. They have a podcast. It's called Seated. It is a movie review podcast that is just the blackest film review podcast ever. They basically kind of shifted and added a little bit more color to the way that I was thinking about this film. And ultimately, I don't think that this character is supposed to be a black woman. And if it was, is there a world where this black woman, one, would have ever moved forward in doing a sort of mass shooting? And then two, she is playing along in this game, and then Rachel, who actually did her awful thing of locking some child in a closet and leaving him there.
Maybe worse, because she didn't even, like, I mean, it was maybe worse than even that, because she was the one who couldn't come with a straight story from the beginning. She was like, ha ha ha, so I was hanging out with this, drops the hard R word.
Yeah.
And then I thought it would be funny to lock him in a closet. And then so I did, and they never found him. And they were like, wait, they never found him? And she was like, oh, I mean, like overnight. Like girl.
It's insane. I loved how this film showed two different, one, versions of an interracial relationship. And then two, just like the complexities that are there. But I do think the film could have pushed it even further, in my opinion, if the writer knew about, because I think the writer director is like,
Swedish.
I think he's like an international, like he's like a white man from Europe or some shit, like Norwegian, yes. And like, so it's like, he doesn't actually understand sort of the racial nuances that probably a character like this, when you put Zendaya in this role, it deserves in the writing. Like, and it's also not Zendaya's, job to add that layer or suggest those layers. Like, she's only performing the material.
I mean, this is where it's interesting is I honestly, out of most of the film, I didn't even think about a lot of racial aspects of it because of how jarring.
Could you not?
Because the characters and what they were focused on was something. What my favorite thing about this film is like the second they start playing this game of like, what's the worst thing you've ever done? That is a direct question to the audience. So like automatically you're starting to think like, if I was around my friends, what's the worst thing I've ever done? Would I tell somebody that? Would I be fully honest about these things? And then before you can even really start to like get into how fucked up that game is, it makes it about a sensitive topic for American people, which is gun violence, and it talks about this person. So you're also playing this game of, if my partner, if my best friend or whatever, like told me that they thought about all of this. And as the movie goes on, I really couldn't be focused on the racial aspects because I was just so wrapped up with the idea of how America treats guns in general.
Yeah.
And wrapped up with the idea of online rights and like social justice warrior rights versus actual rights. Once again, Zendaya's character was the only person at that table whose actions did not end up affecting anyone but herself. Like she blew her own hearing out, and that was what came of it. But it comes with such a weight that I already know that there are like gun activist groups and people calling upon these things. And what was interesting is I think the director kind of gave himself I'm not saying it was a good out, but he gave himself an out through Robert Pattinson's character being like, yeah, I'm not from America, and I think guns are just an American thing in the way you guys think about them. Like that conversation.
Well, that's how most like folks from any other country besides ours actually views us. They view us like, oh, it's normal for y'all to have a gun in your home. Like that's crazy. Like no one. We're in a siloed kind of like framework when we're thinking about like how American treats guns and how people view us about our sort of like gun laws and like the ways that we have.
That's why I was wondering if like the racial aspects of it literally were just a Zendaya afterthought. Like, oh yeah, she's a hot girl. We'll get her in. She'll make great opposite Robert Pattinson. They're both very talented actors. So that's where I think that aspect comes in, because I do think the director was so solely focused on telling the story through Robert Pattinson's eye, like trying to force us all to take a step.
It's his movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like take a step out of ourselves.
That Zendaya is like a plot point for like Robert Pattinson's character, right? Like this is Charlie's story. And for me though, I think one, from the Zendaya tip, like Zendaya actually has been quite open and honest around like about the roles that she takes roles that are actually meant for white women, for one, for a representation standpoint. And then two, it's like she's trying to dismantle sort of like that system of like who gets to play what and what should like black women be able to play. And I do think that's a very like commendable thing. Like, I think she's always done that in her work. However, I'm like, just because you put her in that spot, like that component is a really important component when it comes to like the overall storytelling, how the audience is going to like receive that storytelling. Because
well, one way to contextualize that is like, how would you feel if it was like the reverse, if like Robert Pattinson's character was the one who was like, yeah, and in high school, I totally thought about killing a bunch of kids. And I told Doug like straight up, like, oh girl, I know I love you now, but at that point, I'd be like, ooh.
I don't even know. I understood Charlie's spiral too, because it was like, that's what I think I loved about the film, because I wasn't expecting to laugh as much as I did. Like I felt like, oh my God, this is a movie for the girlies who have dark humor. And it's just like getting their life off of all of the like, you know, antics that I just didn't see how his spiral, I couldn't guess how he was like, what was going to come next, which I really, really loved. Because I don't know how you sort of sit with like, well, did I know this person at all? And yes, they may be different now, but it was so interesting the ways that his flashbacks when he was like, he would, you know, it would be her younger self, or it was like in moments where they were having sex. And it was just like and oh my God, a wonderful writer and like culture film critic, Brooke Obie, she wrote in her Substack about the real thing that Charlie was working through was that Zendaya, Emma's character was a certain type of Black woman that he thought like she was a certain type of Black woman in his brain. And once he found out this news, he completely had to like go back in his like memory, like database in his brain and completely like be like, well, is she the sort of woman that I thought she was? Is she the type of like, you know, Black woman that I want to sort of be with? Like it sort of opened my brain up to being like, wow, he's not just going over a memory of like this person that he's about to marry. Like it's a little bit more nuanced to that. Like he's holding hands with her younger self. Like he's thinking about who this young girl is and thinking about moments that have happened and played out in their relationship. And it's just like,
and inserting this new version of her he never knew, which is something that I personally feel like we do experience in all sorts of relationships. Like I find out something like shocking about you. Our minds automatically go back. And it's like, I cannot believe when we were like talking about Beyonce and praising her together, this whole time, this bitch loved Addison Rae.
Sure did, bitch. Sure did.
Okay. Let's take a break from this drama, girl. I actually want to talk about Drag Race a little when we get back.
Oh my God. And we got to talk about how Jane Dunn is trying to drag me. Actually, a couple of the queens have been trying to drag me on Instagram lately. What the fuck?
Let me dig in.
Highkey. Okay, we're back. Oh my God. So now the Drag Race is over. The finale is happened. We have a new reigning queen. Shout out to Mikey Meeks. I mean, honestly, I knew she was going to win. I'm very happy that she was going to win, that she won. Let's start here. How did you enjoy the finale? What were your initial thoughts?
I didn't really enjoy it. Like, like almost at all, but
I didn't like it.
No, I didn't. But that's the thing is I wasn't expecting to. Something that we were saying at our cute little watch party we did at the house was like, it had the energy in the air for me of going into this last presidential election where we were like, of course, Kamala Darlene is going to win. Of course. Like, we're not sister saucing ourselves, are we, you guys? Like, this is a real thing. Like, look at the fan votes. Of course she's doing well. And then it drops, the shoe drops, and you're like, yeah, honestly, I was stupid for believing me.
I mean, I'm still never going to get over that you put Darlene on your Mount Rushmore. Like that's just wild to me. I think there was drugs involved.
I mean, that's the first thing I thought of, but like, that's also, she's still, so far, 1 week later, I still stand by it because I'm like, you know, she didn't even need a crown for me to show me exactly what it is that I do love about Drag Race, which is the queens, which is their joy and which is their passion. And when that shines through, it makes me feel passionate. It makes me feel like I can do something.
I loved her dress. Her, like, that outfit that she walked
ugly
out
ass
with.
Outfit.
Oh my God. It was, that's what I'm saying. No one else gets it. I was watching the fucking pit stop, and of course it was like Bianca and Bob, and they were talking about how much they did not like that dress. And I was like, she's the only one, in my opinion, that comes down that runway with such a POV. I know exactly where she is. I know exactly where she comes from. Like, I know exactly this character that she's being. And it's a whole bunch of mix max patterns, but it's so refined.
And the like reference to herself. Like, that's what the finale should be. It's so, I'm just going to say it. It's boring as fuck going into these finales, knowing that the girls are going to wear really nice, fancy garments. That,
absolutely.
Like, that's what we do. You know, you go in a finale, now you spend literally tens of like grands of dollars on something that is usually just a vision that says, yeah, I want to look like I'm going to a finale. And I think it is so much more interesting when somebody can actually showcase and reference themselves, like, without even like deep diving into that ugly look. I saw it and was like, oh, this is Darlene Mitchell saying, this is the character I presented to you on the show. And this is how that character would come to a fin. Yeah. Like, instead of just being like, don't I look cunt and stunning?
Yes.
So, but the reason why I didn't enjoy it is it wasn't meant to be an enjoyable finale. This kind of showed the errors and, or not the errors, but like the risks you take in the ways they changed filming this. Like, now they have the girls come back at the end of the same summer when they filmed, and they taped the finale. They chopped 3 to 2 before like getting any reaction from the audience, the fans, the peoples. They like give out the miscongeniality like 100% based off of how the queens interacted with each other.
Which
like,
is
that's
crazy to me. I didn't realize they did that. I thought they were still like a fan element to it, that like people voted on it, but I didn't realize it was like based on the queens.
Yeah.
Because last season, I remember when Crystal Envy won, and I was like,
I was going to say, I didn't even remember who was going to be handing it out this year. I was like, oh, like, shit.
Did the meaning change? Which is what I posted on Instagram when like they announced that Jane don't, and she literally commented being like, no, it didn't. I was super nice. And yes, I guess you have a relationship with your sisters, and then that's what it's based on. I get it. But if it was a fan vote, there's no way she would have won Miss Congeniality if it was in its original state, like way that people were being awarded that.
I mean, but that's when I'm pretty sure they changed it, was after like everybody on season like 9 all got on Valentina because she won Miss Congeniality. And then these bitches were like, excuse me, this bitch congenial? Girl, you got the fan vote. And then the next year they stopped doing the fan vote. They just started calling it Miss Congeniality in between the queens. But what I thought was wild was
all about that.
I actually called Jane winning Miss Congeniality. Because you can just tell. Because you can tell from her energy in the workroom that like she provided a rock to these girls. Like that's how bitches vote, is like, you know, like, yes, this girl is my best friend and that person is my drag auntie. But like, I saw Jane like helping and like being a good front runner instead of being the kind of dick that I was when I was winning and being like, I hate hearing about how you bitches are failing if you're not smart enough to see it. Like,
but I also don't think they showed enough of those moments on the like in the season. I feel like what we got were like a few of those moments where she was sort of that rock, or like helping a queen out, or like her sister out, whatever. And then it would cut to a confessional where she's just being like,
where she's reading them.
Yeah, she's like reading them down. And so the narrative, it doesn't match what, you know, is happening internally on the show between the queens and like what the editors are putting together as far as storyline. And so that's where there's a disconnect.
I mean, once again, I think think that fits once again with like the issues with filming this whole finale deal, like as such a closed experience, as such a everything depends on what these girls experience, just like reality TV. And the big reason why I don't really care about these finales anymore is it used to mean something to the culture. Like I can use a metaphor of Drag Race as a whole on how it used to mean something specifically to the culture. There would be watch parties on Mondays at your local bar. And I'm not saying it was always like the biggest thing, but there was a group of people who would come together and watch and celebrate this. And when they started doing live finales, it was a part of queer culture. You would see it on all the like news websites and magazines and stuff. Our queer stars would go. I remember when like one of my local legend icons, Felony Misdemeanor, got to go with Nina Flowers to, I think it was like season 8 or 9 or some shit. And it impacted like drag around the culture. And when they moved to a corporate structure, which I'm assuming they kind of had to do for contractual obligations.
For all the things. Yes.
Like when they moved to that, they once again just kind of like kicked the viewing party feeling of it to the side. They were like, well, who cares if we can't invite all the who's who of fag culture to this? It's not a real big deal. It's just a TV event now.
How much of that is though the corporatizing of like Drag Race or is it a combination of that and the time that Drag Race has been on? I mean, we are 18 seasons in, and immediately right after the finale, it shows us the All-Stars promo. It's like we're in the like machine, and I feel like because it happens all the time, it's going on for so long, which has been a wonderful thing for queer representation. I do think after a long time of something, it automatically it's positioned to lose its coolness. It's positioned to lose its cultural weight. It's always going to do that.
But that's exactly what it did. Is it there's no way of like speaking this without sounding like a victim, but like it chose capital over community. It chose that, like just like everything else that goes on longer and longer, you have a choice of like, am I going to try and grow this, or does it matter if...
What's the alternative of that though? Like if you're not choosing, if you're choosing community, what happens when you choose community, when it like from a longevity sort of like business POV?
What happens is it changes, is that Drag Race maybe doesn't make it like 200 seasons, doesn't get to be in everyone everywhere's lexicon, doesn't get to be a piece, but the people it does mean something to, it still feeds, and it's still really giving back to. And it's hard to say this because Drag Race also still is one of the most important things that queer culture has right now.
Yeah.
But you can tell just from talking queer to queer girl, it does not mean that same way between us.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. No, I totally agree with you on all fronts here. I think for me, it's sort of like, I'd rather have it continue to have it around in whatever iteration it continues to be than not have it at all, especially in this moment in time, politically and culturally, all the things.
I 100% agree. To answer your question better, what it could look like, or what it could have looked like from my opinion, is after it starts to get bigger and bigger, instead of signing some stupid deal that like guarantees you're going to have an All-Stars every year, instead of like linking yourself to a bigger and a bigger network, like it was of pure intention, I believe, trying to get the platform wider and wider. But instead of doing that, instead of focusing on how to feed everybody, focus how to feed the people that you're claiming to feed.
Oh, like, I agree.
So what it could have looked like was, Drag Race doesn't get a bigger, fancier new stage every year. Drag Race doesn't have the gaggiest guests and songs and lip syncs. Drag Race might air on a Monday or a Tuesday or whatever day of the week on whatever channel. And when that network is ready to give it up, it goes to YouTube It goes to Patreon. It goes to crunchy places. Like King of Drag is where Drag Race started.
Yeah.
And I think it is always so much easier than people realize to return to your roots. As somebody who sold like most of the things that I accumulated to try and do this glow up, I'm so much fucking happier being this scrappy fucking piece of an artist, as long as I'm still actually talking to queer people instead of being like, but yeah, my whole life is guest celebrity appearances and then catch me on this new album on Tuesday. And that is why I'll always be a New York faggot over in LA.
That's easy.
Because I'm important in my head, girl, but not to the world.
Girl, you're also Leo. But that's a lot easier to say about a King of Drag when they are ultimately like the people that run that show. They are trying to make it as big as Drag Race.
Everyone is.
I think it's just a lot easier to talk about this sort of thing from a like, yes, you are an insider, but now you're sort of positioned as an outsider looking into this like system and this machine while you're also still sort of benefiting in your own way from it. And I think I want it to be different too, but I just don't think right now where it's at, I think it's just going to be like legacy catalog, competition show. Like it's not there until something else new comes.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I think death is a part of life. I think someday Drag Race is not going to exist as we know it, and it is going to be so sad. And I'm cherishing what we have until then. The only thing I'm calling for is the same thing I've always called for, which is like make something that matters to the people. And that being said, I'm also very proud of Mikey Meeks for like turning it for like, I know she's going to deal with endless bullshit. Well, Jane don't should have, and Darlene should have.
No,
and
she's prepared
like,
for it. I think she's ready for it.
Yeah. She seems the most ready, which is part of the reason why I feel like she was crowned. But
yeah, and also you not mentioning anything about your Denver sister is crazy.
I just couldn't. I wasn't gonna lie. I wasn't like the one thing that I'll say is after they chopped Darlene, when they said Nene's name, I was like, oh, they did Darlene like that because they had no idea what the fans were going to do. When they said Nene's name, we knew she was going to eat the finale, and it was not going to matter at all because she wasn't connecting with the people in the way that even Mikey was. So the Drag Race of it all, Nene was fucking fantastic. She won the finale. Darlene won the hearts. Jane Don't won the season, and Mikey Meeks is our reigning queen, and bow down to the fact that she's fantastic.
I actually also think Mikey is going to win the mainstream
media. I agree.
I think that's where she's going to be, like seeing her
on Good Morning America.
Yeah, so I'm like, she's already been, before the show was even over, she was already sort of like ushered in. I think she's going to have a really powerful like reigning, time. And I'm excited to see what she's able to do. I'm excited. I will say it was good to see Anya Nerve. However, I do want to call out the fact that I feel like her reigning sort of, her moment as like the reigning queen, I think it had to do with like a lot of the fans discrediting her win and not giving her the love that she deserved and the support that she deserved. And I think she learned so much being kind of like first time doing drag, immediately winning the season, like her season. It just was like, I love seeing Anya Nerve on my screen. I think she's so talented, and I really, really hope that she gets an opportunity to do so much more because she's so talented. And I think she really has a vision for her career. And these fans can just be so awful to like all of these queens, but specifically the like Black queens. It's kind of crazy. And I want more for Anya. I really, really do. But yeah.
Well, I want a song with her. Speaking of which,
y'all should totally do that,
girl. We're going to. I'd say that like we've talked about it. Okay, let's take a break so I can screw my head back on and stop lying to people's faces.
Not you already. That's you manifesting. It's fine. You're manifesting.
Manifesting, yeah. Let's manifest some high keys when we get back.
Highkey. All right, we're back. Let's get into our high keys. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
I'll go first because mine
do it.
Mine is confusing and selfish and personal. My high key is I am so high key about not giving a single shit about other people's inconvenience with your life. I am so high key about people allowing each other leeway to make mistakes, to fuck up, to owe nothing to each other. And it makes it so much more beautiful. What I'm really high key about.
Who are you dragging right now?
I am high key dragging anyone who thinks they deserve anything of somebody else's time, money, or energy. And a part of the reason I'm like that is like I had a hookup who's like acted like this in the past or whatever, like gotten bitchy at me because I'm an internationally recognized performance artist who, when I'm in the city, am probably busy doing something relating to my job. I had him like get bitchy with me because I was on a music video shoot that ran long, and told him it might, and it was like passive aggressive. I'm bitchy at like that, and I'm specific.
Well, girl, as a bottom, he probably had to clean out and everything, and you just flaked.
Girl, no, it wasn't a flake. It's like when you tell somebody before, like, hey, bitch, I'm doing a music video. Yeah. I'm supposed to get out at this time. Supposed to was there for a reason. But I'm also specifically bitchy because I just watched the last episode of Hacks last night, which is like Deborah Vance, like asking her fans
for help.
Yeah. And I thought her character handled it very well, and I thought it was a beautiful dialogue about like what artists like do really owe our fans, and what our fans like expect from us. But it also just did scratch me to like hear her get bitched at by all of these people being like, yeah, and you discontinued this, and what happened to that corporate structure thing? And it's like when she screams like about needing her own time and space and energy and how people don't owe it. I think it is so sick, once again, how our culture enables people to think that your favorite artist owes you anything other than their art. Like if you really, really love, like Sabrina Carpenter does not have to do a meet and greet with you.
I agree.
So
this is her job. You know what I mean? Like this is.
Yeah. And it is way more meaningful when we are able to connect instead of having to connect. Having to connect is how I got my taxes done. Able to connect is how I fucked the guy I did after I got my taxes done.
Oh, so you still ended up having sex with him?
No, not him. It was somebody who was way more patient. What's your high key?
You spending your high key dragging
my hookup, dragging my grandmothers, dragging like anybody who takes the time to passive aggressive text me about my life. Like, bitch, you are the reason I do not look at my phone 90% of the time. I think about all the people who I'm letting down, and my therapist and I will pick that up next week. What are you high-key about?
That's so real. That is so real. Okay, so I'm high-key about not everything deserves a spinoff. I say that because, and this is me going into my reality TV bag, so bear with me. So Love Island has Beyond the Villa, and it was like, it happened. It aired after season 6 when that season was like lightning in a bottle. And, it was just, everyone was obsessed with that cast. I mean, I talked about it here on the show probably like forever. And they have done another kind of Beyond the Villa with the last season of, Love Island. And none of the people actually on the season are people that like the actual fans give a fuck about. And so they still went through with like having this cast of just really annoying people who you could just tell are performing instead of just like living their lives or just performing for the camera. And there's 3 like blondes specifically that have just irked me down. Hannah, Iris, and Grayson or whatever her name is. I don't even give a fuck. But they are the worst people. And it's exactly why I feel like not everyone deserves sort of this follow-up. Like, I feel like this is when corporations just sort of want to like wring the whatever's left out of the towel of success that they've seen from this one show to try to make more money off of it. And it just is not always going to work, sister. And I think this is a moment where it truly failed because everyone on that cast, I could give a fuck about. The winner of last season's Love Island is on the show, and I could give a fuck about her too. The only people I care about is Alondria, Nick, maybe Chelly, and maybe Ace. And those 4 hoes are not on the show. So why does the show exist? I actually don't know. But I will probably continue to watch because I have nothing else to do. So
you better play both sides of that coin. You better show it before you flip it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm probably going to watch, but I'm also going to bitch about it, how stupid it is and how much they're irking me. And I probably will fucking, write all my thoughts on my threads, but whatever. I'm Highkey about that. So yeah, that's the show.
So we're Highkey haters today, girl. Go eat it up.
Highkey haters.
Yeah. If you want some love, go watch the drama with us. Okay. Thank y'all for joining.
Yes.
As always, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, across social media at Highkey here. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Tell us everything you're feeling. Tell us what you disagree with us on,
which is probably a lot.
And
actually, I saw a comment somebody left, which I really, really appreciated that they left this comment. They said, one day, sometimes I'm Ryan and sometimes I'm Yvie, but I'm always like a lifelong fan. And I was like, oh, that's really nice.
Ooh, I got to figure out when they're you and start fighting them. Just take out some of that aggression.
Also, is that really how you feel about Andrea Carpenter, Sabrina, Aubrey?
Fuck you.
This is over. Okay. Goodbye. Have a good week. I love you, Pop Divas. Great job at Coachella.
Mwah.